All right, so you're prepping for a house builder interview. Time to trade those blueprints for interview skills. We're going to dive into some RoleCatcher resources and really help you build that winning strategy. It's like having a whole construction crew, but for your interview prep.
We've got it all. Career guides, sample interview questions, even a peek into their AI tools, all here to build a solid foundation for you.
Okay, let's start with the classic why house building.
hmm
Seems simple, but it's really your chance to let that passion shine.
Exactly. Think about what sparked your interest. Is it seeing a family move into a home you built? Or maybe you're all about those sustainable building practices, building a greener future. Let that genuine enthusiasm come through.
I love that, emphasizing the why. And that actually ties into another key thing, skills. It's more than just knowing your tools.
For sure. Think communication, problem solving, that sharp eye for detail. Those transferable skills are gold. Like imagine they ask key skills for a house builder. Don't just list them off, use your experience. Ever had to explain a complex design to a client who's like totally not technical? Or maybe you had to troubleshoot some crazy electrical issue right there on site.
That's how you show what you can do, not just tell. And speaking of showing, let's talk experience.
Yeah.
How do you walk an interviewer through your construction journey?
It's storytelling time, not just a project list. Like if they ask, describe your experience building homes, bam, resume comes to life. What were those unique challenges? What clever solutions did you find? How did you make that project a success?
It's like painting them a picture. And you know what? This is where RoleCatcher's AI can really refine those answers. Their platform, it actually analyzes job descriptions. It finds those keywords, the skills employers are looking for.
Like a personal interview coach?
Exactly. And it's not just about the perfect answer, it's the whole package. RoleCatcher's AI, it can analyze how you're saying things, give you feedback, even help with body language in those video rehearsals. Talk about confidence.
Putting your best foot forward. Okay, let's get into budgets and timelines. Interviewers want to see you're organized, detail-oriented.
So how do you tackle a question like, how do you stay within budget A&D on time?
Concrete examples, that's your answer. Do you swear by project management software? Maybe you're a meticulous planner, breaking everything down. Or are you all about those regular check-ins so you spot problems early? Ever had to make a tough call to cut costs or shift the schedule?
And what about those inevitable curveballs? Every construction project has them. How do you handle those?
Problem-solving time. Picture this. Describe a tough problem you faced building a house and how you solved it. Boom, you're the analytical thinker. Don't just state the problem. Walk them through how you thought it out. How'd you break it down? What solutions did you weigh? And the outcome. What did you learn?
That learning part's huge. Shows you're always improving. Speaking of important stuff, safety. It's not just a rule. It's how you work responsibly.
100%. When they ask, how do you follow safety regulations, they don't want to just hear, I wear a hard hat. It's about being proactive, building that safety culture.
So what are some things you could actually share to show that commitment?
Think beyond the basics. Are you the one inspecting equipment for hazards? Do you encourage everyone to speak up about risks? Maybe you even led those safety briefings or came up with new procedures to keep things safer?
That's how you stand out. And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can help target those answers even more. Find the specific safety stuff that matters to each job.
Absolutely. Their platform, it can break down the job description, find those keywords that scream safety. Now you're speaking their language, hitting those values.
It's about more than just the rules. It's that you truly care about a safe and productive environment. And you know what? That leads us perfectly to teamwork.
Oh, construction's all about the team, bringing everyone's skills together towards one goal. So when they ask, how do you manage and motivate your team on a project? They want to see you get the team dynamic.
But let's be honest, construction sites can be a challenge. Lots of personalities, tight deadlines, and then those curveballs we talked about.
You got to have that leadership, that communication down pat. How do you delegate? Do you build an environment where everyone feels heard? What about when conflicts come up?
Specific examples are key. Maybe you had to mediate a dispute between two people or found a creative way to boost morale when things got tough.
It's not just saying I'm a leader, it's showing how you handle those real-life situations.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI, it can help you practice these answers, get feedback, even do video rehearsals. That's prep taken to the next level.
All about being prepared. Which brings us to a huge GE one. Staying ahead of the curve.
Right. Construction's always evolving. New tech, new trends popping up all the time. How do you keep up and make sure your skills are relevant?
This is a big one interviewers look for. They want to see you're committed to learning, to growing.
So how do you answer something like, how do you keep up with the latest trends in house building?
Show them action, not just, I read stuff online. Been to any conferences, taken a course on like sustainable building or the latest 3D printing tech.
Be specific. Mention a conference and a key takeaway, or a new software you're learning that's changing the game.
It's about being proactive, seeking out that knowledge that'll make you better at your craft.
And that ties right into showcasing your wins. Every house builder has that project, the one they're proud of. How do you share that pride and expertise with an employer?
They ask, tell me about a project you're proud of, and it's showtime. Choose that project that highlights what you can do, walk them through it, not just the finished house, but the challenges, the clever solutions you came up with, the impact you made.
It's making that project come alive for them, showing your passion and what you're capable of.
Exactly. Like maybe there was a crazy zoning issue or a tough client you had to work with. Or you used a new construction method that saved time and money. Those are the stories they'll remember.
And don't forget the why behind the pride. What made it special? What did you learn that you still use today?
It's those little details, those reflections that show you're always learning, always growing.
Which leads us perfectly to our last big one for this part, clients. Building a house is huge E for most people. They want to know they're in good hands.
You got to build that trust, show them you're all about exceeding expectations.
Let's say they ask, how do you make sure you're meeting those client expectations? Time to show off those communication skills, those people skills.
Think about how you communicate. Are you including them in decisions, keeping them in the loop? Are you proactive about addressing concerns, giving them regular updates?
It's all part of building that relationship. But it goes beyond just talking. It's about making it personal, making it a positive experience.
Maybe you have a system for sending personalized updates with photos, or you give them virtual tours using 3D models.
Leveraging that tech to really wow them.
And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI, it can help you fine-tune these answers too. Target it to the specific client-focused stuff they're looking for.
They can analyze that job description, find the key words that say client satisfaction, communication, building relationships.
It's all about speaking their language, showing them you get it, you get their values.
It's not just building houses, it's building trust and those positive experiences.
It really is all about that client relationship, going above and beyond.
For sure. Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to something you mentioned, using RoleCatcher's AI to fine-tune answers.
Yeah. It's like your secret weapon for interview prep.
Totally. Their platform can actually analyze those job descriptions, pinpoint the exact skills and keywords that employers are looking for. So you can basically customize your responses and speak their language.
You got to know what they value, and then, bam, you show them how your skills and experience fit right in.
And it's not just keywords. RoleCatcher's AI can pick up on the tone, the style of the job description too, so you can match your communication style.
Like, if they're all about teamwork and collaboration, you'd want to highlight those group projects you led or how you handled conflicts, constructively.
It's all about showcasing what's really relevant to that specific job.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Staying ahead of the curve, that's a big one.
Okay, picture this. You're in the interview and they ask, how do you keep up with the latest trends and tech in house building? What are some concrete examples you can give to show you're all about continuous learning?
Don't just say, I read stuff online. Think bigger. Any conferences or workshops you've been to, maybe a course on sustainable building practices, or even exploring that new 3D printing stuff, that's changing the game.
Those are great. And don't be afraid to get specific, like name a conference and a key takeaway, or a specific software you're learning that's revolutionizing the design process.
You got to show them you're actively seeking out that knowledge, not just passively learning stuff.
Which brings us to showcasing those accomplishments. Every house builder has that one project they're really proud of. How do you share that with a potential employer? How do you get that pride and expertise across?
Let's say they hit you with, describe a project you're proud of. Boom. Time to shine. Pick a project that really shows what you can do and walk them through it. Don't just describe the finished house. Talk about the challenges, the creative solutions you found, the impact you had. Make that project come alive.
It's storytelling, making them feel that passion, that expertise.
For sure. Maybe you navigated some crazy zoning issue or had a super demanding client. Or maybe you used a new construction technique that saved time AD money. Those are the kind of stories that'll stick with them.
And don't forget that why behind the pride. What made it so special? What did you learn that you still use today?
Those personal touches, they add depth. They show you're always learning and growing.
Okay, let's switch gears again. Client relationships. We touched on this earlier. Building a house is a huge investment. People want to feel like they're in good hands.
Absolutely. Building that trust, ensuring they're happy, that's crucial.
So let's say they ask, how do you make sure you're meeting client expectations throughout the project? Time to highlight those communication and people skills.
Think about your style. Do you involve them in decisions? Keep them updated every step of the way? Are you proactive about addressing any concerns they have, sending them regular updates?
That's the foundation of a good client relationship.
Yeah.
But it's also about going the extra mile, making it a personalized, positive experience.
Like maybe you have a system for sending those personalized progress reports with photos and videos. Or you give them a virtual tour of the construction site using 3D models. That's cool.
Using tech to enhance that whole experience.
And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI, it can help you tailor your answers here too. It can help you focus on the client-centric stuff that's most important for that specific job.
They can analyze the job description, zero in on those keywords that scream client satisfaction, communication, building relationships.
Speaking their language, showing them you're on the same page, you get their values.
It's more than just building houses. It's building that trust and those amazing experiences for your clients. Now let's talk about another huge EE1, safety.
So important. It's got to be more than just words. It's about that culture you build on site.
Right, so if they ask, how do you ensure you're following all those safety regulations? Brick, what are some real examples you can give to show your commitment?
Think beyond just, I wear a hard hat and goggles. Show them you're proactive. Do you regularly check equipment for any hazards? Do you encourage open communication about potential risks?
That's how you demonstrate that safety-first mindset.
Exactly. And maybe you even took it a step further, implemented new safety procedures, or led training sessions for your team. Actions speak louder than words, right?
They really do. And I'm willing to bet RoleCatcher's AI can help you pinpoint the specific safety protocols that are most relevant to the job you're applying for.
Totally. Their platform can break down that job description, pick out those keywords that scream safety, so you're hitting those values, speaking their language.
It's all about showing you're not just following the rules, but that you genuinely care about creating a safe and productive environment for everyone. Now let's shift gears a bit. Talk about something a little more personal. Your passion for house building.
Ah, yes. This is where you get to share what really lights your fire about this field.
Imagine they ask, what inspired you to pursue a career in house building? What are some unique and memorable ways to answer that, to really convey your passion?
Don't just say, I'm good with my hands, or I like working outdoors. Go deeper. What truly drew you to this profession?
Maybe you were inspired by a family member who worked in construction. Or maybe you've always been fascinated by that process of turning raw materials into a beautiful, functional home.
Love those. And don't be shy about sharing a personal anecdote, something that really illustrates your passion. Maybe you remember helping your grandpa build a treehouse when you were a kid, or maybe you volunteered for Habitat for Humanity and that sparked your interest.
Those little personal touches make your answer so much more engaging, so much more memorable.
They create that connection, and that can make all the difference in an interview. Now, before we wrap this part up, I want to circle back to showcasing those accomplishments. We talked about highlighting a project you're proud of, but what are some other ways to demonstrate your expertise to potential employers?
A portfolio, that's a great one.
Right. Photos of your work, blueprints, sketches, even testimonials from happy clients. It's tangible proof of what you can do.
Lets them see the quality of your work firsthand.
And don't forget to tailor that portfolio to each specific job you're going for.
Exactly. If the job emphasizes sustainability, highlight those projects that show off your green building knowledge and energy-efficient designs.
Hit those key points. Now let's talk about another way to boost your credentials' professional development. Always got to be learning, especially in a field that's constantly evolving.
So how do you show that commitment to professional development during an interview?
Think about the courses, workshops, or conferences you've attended, certifications you've earned, professional organizations you're part of. It all adds up.
And be specific. Mention a course that helped you master a new technique, or your involvement in an organization that keeps you up to date on the latest trends.
Show them you're actively investing in yourself, staying ahead of the curve.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI. It can help you target your answers here too. Highlight those professional development activities that matter most for each job.
Their platform can analyze that job description, find those keywords that scream professional development, continuous learning, industry involvement.
So you can tailor your response, speak their language, show them you get their commitment to professional growth. Now let's shift gears again and talk about teamwork. It's the heart of any construction project, right?
Absolutely. Bringing everyone's skills together to achieve that common goal.
Right, so let's say they ask, how do you manage and motivate your team on a house building project? What are some concrete examples you can share to really showcase those leadership and teamwork skills?
Think about the different roles you've played on teams. Have you led a group of subcontractors, coordinated with architects and engineers, mentored someone newer to the field?
Teamwork in action.
And don't forget to talk about the challenges you faced, the solutions you came up with. Maybe you had to resolve a conflict between team members or found a creative way to boost morale when things got tough.
Those stories show not only your leadership skills, but also how you handle the dynamics of a team, especially in a high-pressure environment.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful with these types of questions too. You can practice your answers, get feedback, even do video rehearsals to really nail your delivery.
Preparation is key.
Now, before we wrap this part up, let's touch on problem solving. We all know those unexpected challenges are part of the game in construction.
So how do you demonstrate that you can think critically and find solutions when things get tough?
Imagine they ask, describe a difficult problem you encountered during a house building project and how you solved it. This is your chance to shine as a problem solver.
Think of a time you faced a major obstacle. Maybe a material shortage, a design flaw, or even an unexpected weather event. Walk them through it.
How did you approach the problem? What steps did you take to gather information and analyze the situation? What solutions did you consider? And most importantly, what was the outcome? Did you resolve the issue successfully? What did you learn from that experience?
Those details will impress them and show them you can handle pressure and make those smart decisions, even when things get tricky.
And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI, it can help you craft this answer too. Their platform can analyze the job description, find those keywords that emphasize problem solving, critical thinking, decision making.
So you can target your response, hit those key points, and really show them you're the one who can handle those curveballs and keep projects moving forward. Now, before we move on to our final part, let's talk about another essential skill, staying organized and managing your time.
Time management is everything in house building. So many moving parts, it's crucial to prioritize, meet deadlines, and keep things running smoothly.
So how do you demonstrate those organizational and time management skills in an interview?
Let's say they ask, how do you stay organized and manage your time effectively on a construction project? Time to highlight your systems and strategies.
Do you use project management software? To-do lists? Do you block out time for specific tasks?
Those are all great techniques, and be specific about how you use them.
Like maybe you use an app to track deadlines, delegate tasks, and communicate with your team. Or you have a system for prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance.
It's all about showing you have a structured approach, that you can stay on top of things even when it gets crazy busy.
And RoleCatcher's AI, it can help you tailor these answers too. Highlight those organizational and time management skills that matter most for that particular job.
Exactly. They can analyze that job description, find those keywords that scream organization, time management, efficiency.
So you can speak their language, show them you get it, you understand the need for a highly organized and efficient team. Now let's shift gears and talk about communication. It's essential for any successful project, right?
It's the glue that holds everything together, keeps everyone on the same page.
Imagine they ask, how do you communicate effectively with clients, subcontractors, and other team members on a construction project?
Yeah.
What are some concrete examples you can share to really demonstrate those communication skills?
Think about the different ways you communicate on a project. Email, phone calls, text messages, project management software.
All those channels are part of the construction world.
Right, and you got to show them you can choose the right channel for each situation.
Like email for formal communication, calls for urgent stuff, texts for quick updates.
Exactly, but it's not just about the channels, it's also about your style. Are you a good listener? Can you express yourself clearly and concisely? Do you give regular updates and feedback?
Those are all key for effective communication.
And don't be afraid to share stories about how you've used those skills to resolve conflicts, make consensus, or make sure everyone's on the same page.
Those anecdotes will help them see your communication style, how you handle the complexities of a construction project.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI, it can be a game changer here too. It can help you craft those answers to really highlight the specific communication skills that are most relevant to that job.
Right. They analyze the job description, pick out those keywords that emphasize communication, collaboration, interpersonal skills.
So you can tailor your response, show them you understand their communication needs, and you've got the skills to meet them. Now, before we move on to the last part, let's touch on adaptability. Things change fast in construction. You got to be able to roll with the punches.
Absolutely. So how do you demonstrate that adaptability during an interview?
Imagine they ask, describe a time when you had to adapt to a major change on a construction project. Time to show off your flexibility and problem-solving skills.
Think of a time when a design changed suddenly, or there was a material shortage, or maybe even a crazy weather event threw you a curveball. Walk them through it.
How did you react? What did you do to figure out the impact of that change? How did you adjust your plans and communicate with the team? And what happened in the end? Were you able to navigate that change and keep the project on track?
Those details will impress them and show them you can think on your feet and handle the pressure.
And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI can help with this one too. Analyze that job description. Find those key words that emphasize adaptability, flexibility, problem solving.
So you can tailor your answer, hit those key points, and show them you're the one who can handle whatever comes your way and find those creative solutions to keep things moving forward. All right, let's move on to our final part where we'll wrap things up and give you some last-minute tips for acing that house builder interview. All right, we've covered so much, breaking down those tough questions, highlighting your skills, all that good stuff.
We've given you a whole toolkit to really impress those interviewers and show them how much you love this field.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI. It can help you every step of the way, from your resume and cover letter to practicing those answers and how you deliver them. It's like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
Totally. It's all about putting your best foot forward. Now, before we wrap up, there's one thing we haven't really talked about. Authenticity.
Ah, that's a good one. You could prep all you want, but you got to be genuine too.
Exactly. They want to see who you are, not just a list of skills on a piece of paper. They want to know if you'll be a good fit for their team, for their company culture.
So relax, be yourself. Let that passion for house building shine through.
Passion's contagious. It makes a huge difference.
Huge. And listen to those questions. Ask some of your own. Have a real conversation with them.
Those people skills are just as important as knowing your way around a construction site. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive, remember, you've got the skills, you've got the passion, and now you've got the knowledge to rock that interview.
Go out there and build something incredible, not just in your career, but in those homes you create.
And one last thing to think about. Technology is changing the construction industry so fast. How do you see the role of the house builder evolving in the next 10 years? What can you do now to stay ahead of the game?
Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep diving deep.